Okay, so today we are doing capital asset pricing model. Capital asset pricing model is the basic asset pricing model, and it shows the relationship between expected return and on investment and market risk. It shows the relationship between what expected return and what market risk. And this is the formula. Expected return on the asset you invested in is equal to risk-free plus beta. This B is beta. Then expected return of the market minus what? Risk-free. Okay. So that is it. Now let's understand what is risk-free rate. When you talk of risk-free rate, we are talking of either treasury note, treasury bill, or treasury bond. In any of them that will be brought in the question. Then we have what? We have beta. Beta is measuring the risk of the investment you make in relation to market. Okay. So beta, we believe that if beta is 1, then it means that it is as risky as the market itself, right? And if beta is 2, sorry, it's less than 1, then it means it's less riskier than what? The market. And if beta is more than 1, then it is what? Very what? Risky than what? The market. We have what? RM, I said is what? Return on the market. Then RM minus RF, right? Return on market minus risk-free is risk premium. That is the difference you make on the difference between return on the asset you invested and, sorry, return of the market and what? Treasury bill or government bond. Okay. So we are saying that in effect, the investing in treasury bill or treasury bond is less risky. It's not risky because we believe that government will make good on its payment, right? So if anything, and you are going to invest in the market, then the difference is your best alternative is the government or government bond or treasury bill. So what you make in the market and the treasury bill, the difference between it is either it's a premium to you. Okay. All right. Now there are certain assumptions when it comes to capital asset pricing model. So we have certain assumptions, right, underlying this model. We believe that there is what we believe there's efficient market. And when we talk of efficient market, we are talking of where the securities reflect the information available, the information in the market. Hence, it becomes very difficult for them to identify mispricing or for someone to say, I can consistently beat the market, right? So the security reflects every information that you will ever get that can give you advantage for you to beat the market. So we believe that there's no challenge of mispricing, right, in it. Okay, so that's efficient market. We also believe that all those who invest in the market are rational. When we talk of rational investors, we are talking of those who make the best investment decision based on knowledge, based on information. Okay, and we believe that most of them are what? Risk averse. Okay. Now, in another assumption is that the only prevailing risk in the market is measured by what? Is what? Systematic uh, risk, which is measured by data. Systematic risk is the market risk where you cannot diversify the risk and you cannot do anything to minimize the risk. So that is the risk that we assume that is available under Capm. Then we have all security market is liquid and divisible. When we say liquid, whenever you hear liquid, it means it can easily be what? Sold without losing any relevance or value or losing any losing a portion of the value or losing any relevant amount. Okay, so you know that when it's difficult for you to sell something, you are tempted to reduce the price so that it will buy, people will buy it, and this will reduce the what that you are supposed to get for the security. Okay, so we assume that it's to sell the securities that uh, you acquire, and it's divisible, right? It's divisible. Also, all investors in the market can borrow and lend out the amount of money at risk free. Okay, because we are saying that if you then invest in the market, the difference between the market return and the risk free means you have gotten a premium. As in, we are assuming that if someone will definitely choose a different asset over the risk free asset like treasury book, then definitely the person should get something on it, something higher than what you have got on the risk free. Okay, so that are the assumptions, right? In finance, we normally assume to be able to solve questions. Okay, all right. Now we have systematic risk versus unsystematic risk. What is systematic risk? I think I've taught this before. Systematic risks are risks that affect what? That is a market risk, and it affects all forms of investment, and it cannot be what? Diversified. That is what? Systematic what? Risk. Okay. Then we have unsystematic risk. Unsystematic risk affects a particular firm or a particular industry. Now let's look at example of systematic risk. I say inflation in the country. Inflation in the country, no matter what, will affect every business, every firm, the market in general, right? Okay. Now let's also look at interest rate, the cost of acquiring what loan. That one too is something that can affect what changes in that has the tendency to affect the whole market. Okay. All right. Now, let's another thing also. That is what I raise that affects the market and is under what systematic risk. We have regulation and policies that impact certain industry. Now, sometimes when you go to when you go to some countries, you can see that some of the regulation for certain industry is more favorable than the other. There are certain industries that government is interested in to the extent that even when it's collapsing, they will come in to support, right? And there are some that they wouldn't come in to support. There are some that they loosen the rules for them, as in they reduce the regulations on them for them to operate well, right? And something they are very rigid with what they are operate, very strict with their operation. So that can affect their competition in certain markets. So if there is competition in a particular industry, it's very high. Entry into a particular industry is very high. So this will be specific risks that affect changes in that policy, and that will be specific risks that affect a firm or a particular what industry. Now, I want to understand the difference between beta and standard deviation. When we talk of beta, we are talking of the risks of an investment, an asset you have invested in relation to what the market, how it responds to the risks in the market. So whenever we invest, we expect a certain return. Now, the tenants they are not going to get that return, or what you expect to get is what we are saying that is your risk. Okay. Now, if beta measure how your shares or your portfolio or your security respond to the risks in the market. Okay. So does it respond exactly? If it responds exactly as the market changes, as risk of the market changes, or as the market moves, then it means it's as risky as the market. Okay. Now, if it responds lesser, that is lesser than the market. Okay, so when things are not going well, it doesn't really respond that much, so it doesn't affect it well that much. Then they say what is less risky. When it's higher, there are some assets, there are some investment that is more risky than the market is. So if the market, right? So that is beta. And then go to standard deviation. Standard deviation measures the dispersion of return over around 8 mean. That is standard deviation. It measures the range around 8 mean. But when you talk of a lesser standard deviation, we are talking of when the range around 8, the mean is not much, as in it's more, and we tend that if it's not much, then if you have a lesser standard deviation, then you are likely to be your investment is likely to be stable and what predictable. But if the standard deviation is high, then we tend that it's very risky, and the return around the mean is very widely spread. Okay, and therefore it's very difficult for you to what predict, and it's accessible to deviation. Its accessibility to deviation is what very high. Okay, Gardner, are you with me? Gardner.
Yes, madam, I'm with you.
Okay. Now we want to move to capital market line versus security market line. Okay, we have two graphs, and that we'll be using to explain this. Capital market line shows a trade-off between risk and return for a portfolio that consists of risk-free asset and market portfolio. Okay, it is in line from risk-free rate that is just tangent to what efficient frontier. Then we have security market line. That's what we're going to concentrate on today. And that one is show the trade-off between systematic risk and return on individual assets or a given portfolio. Okay, so when it comes to security market line, so CML is representing capital market line, and SML is representing systematic market line. So let's look at CML. In CML, we have on the graph and on the vertical axis, we have expected return, and horizontal axis, we are measuring risk with what standard deviation. Meaning that under capital market line, we measure risk with what standard deviation, and it measures what total risk. Okay, so now let's see. Risk-free rates. This is efficient frontier. We get them. Efficient frontier is talking as where the asset you look at. If we say efficient, we are talking as maximizing return at a given risk. Okay, maximizing return at a. Then we say it's efficient frontier. That means that you have maximized your return at a given risk. The same way, if you minimize your risk at a given return, then we say that is also what the asset is what efficient. Okay, so efficient frontier, that's what we're talking about. So the ERM is looking at return on market, and risk-free return on free asset. Standard deviation is with measuring the return. Okay, so that is it. Then we come to security market line, where we have expected return. We have, so that's our expected return. So the return to market is free. Now, under security market, our risk is measured by what? Beta, and that one is related to systematic risk. Okay, I told you beta measure the response of risk to what systematic risk, whilst standard deviation is total risk. Okay, all right. So that's the explanation for efficient frontier. Okay, that is all portfolio with the highest return for a given risk. So if you maximize the return of your portfolio at a given risk, then that is efficient frontier. Okay, then we have security market line. So our concentration will be on security market line. Okay, all right. Security market line, we have what expected return, and the formula is already go to a risk-free plus beta into bracket expected return minus what risk-free. This difference is called a premium, right? All right. Then beta risk minus systematic risk. Now beta is can be calculated using these various means, right? All right. And I've told you that when beta is greater than 1, then it means that asset you are investing in is riskier than the market, right? And I've said if it's less than 1, then it's what? It's less riskier than the market. And if it's exactly 1, then it's what is as risky as what the market is. Are we okay? Now there are various ways of computing beta. We have regression, right? Regression. So if you record this formula, return on asset is return on asset minus what? Risk-free. Okay. So that is it. And various ways of second way of calculating beta is covariance over what standard deviation of the market. All right. Now I want us to go to this capital market line. We are not going to concentrate on this, right? We are not going to concentrate on this. We are going to work on what security market line. Okay. Now let's see. There's a question, an illustration. Okay, an illustration. Let me use my. Sometimes the solution is there, but still I want to solve it. It said if the risk-free rate of 3%, this risk-free rate, okay, sorry, of 3%, Twitter or Facebook is 1.2%. The return on market is what? 9%. I say calculate what? Return for what? Facebook. Okay. Now in the formula, it is what? Return or expected return on what? The asset you invested in or the portfolio. Okay, but this one, Facebook. Okay. So there's return on the asset. It's equals to what? I hope you can see it. Risk-free plus beta that's return. Let me not bring the expected return. Market return market is what? Risk-free. So I always say that to solve a question, the first thing you have to be able to do is what? Identify the information in the what? In the question, Gardner. So you identify the information in the question, and the question we know risk-free is what? 3%. So we put our 3% here plus our beta. We give beta is 1.2. So 1.2. Okay. Then return for the market is what? 9%. So risk-free is what? 3%. So we are solving, okay? So that would be what? 3%. Gardner.
Madam.
Are you following?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So 9% minus 3% is 6%. Gardner, you can mute yourself, okay? Mute yourself.
All right.
6%, okay? So that would be what? 3% plus 1.2 times the 6% will give us 7.2%. So at the end of the day, the return that we got is what? 10.2%. Okay, so that is the what? The answer, okay? Now, this expected return is the same as interest rate, is the same as cost of capital, okay? So we can give a further question, right? With this, you can be asked to calculate present value of, if you have done business math. Have you done business math? Or you are now doing it?
I'm now solving it.
Are you now doing business math? Is it this semester that you're doing business math, or you've not started?
No, I think we have already done it last year.
Okay. So if that's the case, then it means you understand present value, right? With this expected return, you can be asked to, you can be given this question. I said what you can calculate present value of Facebook if the expected cash flow is 1,000, okay, in 2 years, okay. So that means that the present value, we know present value, the formula is future value over what? Oh, sorry. Why is this eraser? So that would be what present value is equal to what future value over the discounting factor, okay? And they said what the cash flow is what 2 years, so raise the power to. We insert the information into it, right? We have what 1,000 all over 1.12 raise the power to, okay? All right, so let me just bring the final answer there. We are going to get what 797 point. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, that is. Now we are also saying that if you did financial, then it means that you can also calculate this is present value of the cash flow. Okay. Now let's go. This question, Gardner, this question is an assignment. Okay. It's an assignment. I'll be taking it. Okay. I'm not feeling well, so I don't know when I'll be coming, but maybe next week. So there's an assignment. Okay. Gardner.
Yeah, madam. Madam,
I said this question is what?
an
An
assignment.
assignment. Okay.
All right.
That
All
you
right, madam.
solve. Now we are solving this question and we are done because there's a lot we could do at this, but our concentration is on race. Okay. So we will do the race,
Okay.
then we go. Now, this is a question, illustration 3. Please mute yourself. Illustration 3, okay? We have share A, B, and C. We have the number of securities. We have market price per share. We have beta. Okay. And the answer to compute the beta of the above portfolio. When we talk of portfolio, we are talking of risk for buying more than one asset, as in when you buy more than one asset. So if you have an asset A, B, C, then you have a portfolio, right? Not a thing. The video I made it to go and watch is on a single investment. I wanted to teach the portfolio, but since you are just undergrad, I said, and you come and do investment and portfolio at a point. So I started to thought that and teach it when you do investment and portfolio. Okay, so that is it. So we have this question. The answer to compute for the beta of the above. Okay, now the beta of the above portfolio. So that's if you have invested in all these things, meaning that first of all, we need to know the value and we weight them. How do we know the value? We know the number of security that was invested in times the price will give us the value you invested in share A. So share A will be 10,000 times the price 0.5 and you get what 5,000. Share B will be what 20,000 we pay from year times what the price which is 1 we get what 20,000. Share C will be 30,000 shares times the price which is 0.5 then we get what 15,000. Okay, now what we said we invested in all this okay, so we want to know the total amount we invested. Okay, all right, so we add all right, we add all these values, we added all, we got what 40 what thousand, we got what 40,000. Okay, 40,000. And the weighted average is A is what, 5,000 over what, 40,000. That will be what you take this one, what you got, and divide it, then you get the weight for A. B, you take the 20,000 divided by the whole amount invested, you get the weight for B. Then you take this amount, this one, what you got, you divide by the whole 40,000, you get 2. So at the end of the day, when you add this, you should get what? 1. Okay. Then we come to weighting what? The beta. Okay. Now let's see something. This is the beta values given to us for A, B, C. Okay, so we want to calculate our total risk. Okay, so we take each weight given them and we multiply it by what? The particular asset. So we gave we always say the factor that affects the risk that you have for a portfolio is the weight. The weight you give to each investment and the amount you invest in for each investment. So we take the weight and we multiply it by the beta of A. We take the weight of B, multiply by beta of B. We take the weight of C, multiply by beta of C, right? And the weight of A, we got what, 0.12. The beta is the question is what? 5. Okay, so multiply it by 8. So the same way B, the weight we got was 0.5. Then the beta is the question, take it. Then the weight we got for C is 0.375, and the beta is what, 0.1. Okay. So at the end of the day, is what we got, right? All right. Well, since our concentration is on risk here, we are going to end here, right? When you move forward and you are doing investment and put, I will solve more questions. But that one, our concentration will not just be on beta. Our concentration will also be on the returns. So we just solve more questions on the return. So we are ending here. And this video will be uploaded on there. I'll upload on my YouTube so that the one who said he's not feeling well can also watch it. Okay. Any question? Gardner,
No, madam.
are you sure?